Good day. This is Scott Borsack coming to you again from the Lawrenceville, New Jersey law firm of Schaefer & Lakin. I'm here today to bring you another in our continuing series focusing on the Paycheck Protection Program. Today I want to talk about the documents that a borrower needs to gather and submit to the SBA, as well as retain for 6 years as part of the loan forgiveness process. Those of you who've been following our series know that there's basically 3 forms that a borrower can prepare and submit in order to secure forgiveness. Most lenders have an online portal to support the forgiveness application. So the choice of forms is really driven by the platform that a particular lender requires a borrower to use. Common to all of this are several different pieces of information that borrowers must use. First, a borrower has to present payroll data. That can come in the form of their bank statements or the records from a third-party payroll provider showing exactly what was paid to employees during the covered period. Borrowers also need to gather and provide tax forms. The quarterly Forms 941 employment tax return, as well as the state quarterly business and employment tax returns that show the amounts paid to state taxing authorities. Borrowers need payment receipts, canceled checks, all of this to support the payroll information that needs to be disclosed to the SBA. As far as non-payroll documentation, to the extent that the borrower is claiming forgiveness for expenditures for non-payroll items such as business mortgage interest, business rent or lease payments, utility payments, mortgage interest, the borrower has to present canceled checks for the amounts paid or third-party proof of payment if you've used an online service to pay these amounts. You need a copy of business lease and lease statements upon which payments were made. And for utilities, you'll need copies of those paid bills as well. Now, some of this information needs to be presented to the SBA depending upon which path to forgiveness an individual is choosing. There's also information that borrowers have to amass and agree to keep for 6 years, although they're not presenting that to the SBA. That includes salary and wage analysis to show that employees were paid at amounts comparable to the first quarter. Borrowers have to maintain their proof of hours worked by employees and comparison to test periods. And if a borrower is claiming application of a safe harbor, that is for an inability to operate at the same levels as existed February 15th, the borrower is going to have to keep those records as well. As to that last point, we're still waiting for more information from the SBA to help us determine exactly what they're looking for there. And as I stated, these records need to be maintained for a period of 6 years. So that's a lot of information to gather, to process, to provide the SBA, and in some instances, retain by the borrower in case there's ever a question. And again, that information has to be retained for 6 years. Remember, we're here at Schaefer & Lakin to help borrowers get through this process. I hope this information was helpful. I wish you a good day. Stay healthy, America.